Hey y'all, welcome to Talks with Tanya. And we have Jakaya. Say hey, Jakaya.
Hey everybody.
We are so super excited that you guys are joining us today and that we get to just sit down and talk with you. A lot of times, me and Jakaya, we talk every day, right? Every
Every
day,
day, a couple times a
a
day,
couple of times a
honestly.
day. And sometimes those talks get juicy and heavy, and we're crying or we're laughing. And we're like, man, we should have recorded this. So that's what we're doing. We're recording this. And we just want to just chat a little bit, just kind of briefly introduce ourselves so you can get to know us and get familiar with us and invite us in your household, your car, wherever you're at. We just want to chat a little bit and just be real. Sometimes this world is full of a bunch of people who are not real, and we just want to be ourselves, good, bad, indifferent. You might like it, you might not, but we hope that you do. So, welcome to Talks with Tanya. You got
And
anything you want to
Jakaya.
say, baby? And
Yeah.
Jakaya.
We can
Jakaya.
put it like in a little small subscript or something. The
Okay, yeah,
Anjakaya.
because this is
Yeah.
my daughter, so this is my baby. I love her. It's kind of like my best friend. I had her when I
Kinda
was,
like.
okay, well, my
Yeah.
best
Let's get that
friend.
together.
Yeah, let me get that right before she gets upset. But yeah, she's my baby. I had her when I was 19, so we kind of grew up together, and I really thank God for her because even though I did not know what I was doing and I was just kind of cutting and pasting as I went, I think she really helped me become the woman that I am today. She was able to love me, imperfections and all, because she saw the raw, the real, the
Yeah.
uncut version. My older children got a different mom than what she got. So I appreciate her for.
Your younger children. We don't want people to think you got older children than me. That's
So
how
my
stuff gets
other
started.
children,
They'll be in
right,
the comments.
right,
She's got other children, older
right,
children.
yeah. So she's my first one. I have a 16-year-old and a 9-year-old, and Jakai is 25. So kind of space those babies out, but it's what I needed. I don't think I could have handled them close together, but she is my ride or die, and I'm so appreciative. I thank God for giving her to me and entrusting her with me and her growing up with me. So thanks, kiddo.
You're welcome. Couldn't imagine it any other
All
way.
right, you like my boots?
I do. Should we tell them the story about the boots that are
Yeah,
made for
let's tell them.
walking?
Yeah, and they're gonna walk all over you. So I could not fit these boots 2 years ago, and I was going to throw these things away or give them away because I was really sad because I really wanted some cowboy boots and I wanted to wear them because I thought that was going to be really cool. That's the look I was going for. But then I got them. They came in the mail. I had to order them and I could not fit them. And I was so mad because I had ordered them for Christmas. And she was like, just hold on to them, Mom. Maybe you'll be able to fit them. And I held on to them and I lost quite a significant amount of weight. So I guess my feet got smaller. And now I can fit them. And now here they are. What do you think about that?
I love them. They look good on you. I was just telling her earlier, I think the boots are kind of symbolic to life. I feel like sometimes God will give you a dream or a vision and you'll think like, oh, I want it now. I should be able to do this now. Like I want it now, now, now. But that's really not how it works. And sometimes life will throw you a curveball. It'll take you on some highs and lows and you'll forget about that dream or you'll want to throw it away or say like I don't want to do this anymore, I can't do this. But then one day when you're all together and you're who you're supposed to be,
Hmm.
you'll fit right in them.
Right. And you can walk all over whatever
You
you
can
need to
walk
walk
all
over.
over
That's
them.
true because that is true. A lot of times in life we give up on something or it does not come in the package that we wanted in, or when we get it, it doesn't quite fit like we want it to fit, or we think,
Yeah.
oh, it's going to look like this. And then you get it and you're disappointed.
Yeah.
But really, God is saying, I'm just waiting for a season for you to fit into it. And you're
Right.
not ready to fit it yet. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when our parents give us, when we were little, they bought clothes that were bigger than us,
Oh God, that is the
and they
worst.
got you the clothes that were bigger than you so you could grow into it, because if they would have got
Hmm.
something that you could just fit right, then you would only be able to wear it for a while. So
Yeah.
sometimes God gives us stuff so we can stretch into it, or we can grow into it. In that period when he's stretching us and we're growing, we're also learning. So that's good what you said about the boots, because I had
Hmm.
to wait till I was able to fit them. And I'm glad I didn't throw these things away because I would have been so disappointed. And I'm glad I kept trying them on periodically.
I know.
Saying,
you have to do like a touch base. Like, okay, am I ready yet?
Right.
Is it gonna fit? Is it gonna slide in? Yeah, and it's not. He's like, just not
everything
yet,
has
baby.
an appointed time. So yeah, that's the story about my boots. So I hope you guys like them. And even if you don't, it's okay because I do. So a little bit what I wanted to touch on today, just to kind of introduction to us, is just talking about just being your authentic self. I think I've been on this journey for the last couple of, I'm gonna say years, of just kind of rediscovering myself and rediscovering my boundaries and who I am and what I want. And along that path, I think you lose people. Sometimes you even lose yourself for a moment because you're like, I'm not who I was when I'm 45 now. Am I 45?
Yeah.
45. So I felt like who I was at 20 is not the same person I was at 30. And it was not the same person that I evolved into in my 40s. And the things I accepted or allowed or kind of changed. So even growing up and growing through some of those things, I really had to fall back in love with me again and finding my authentic self, whatever that meant. And I thank God that you were along the way in that process of just encouraging me and just holding me to a different standard and a judgment-free zone. It's good to have people in your life that can hold you in a place that's a judgment-free zone. They will keep you accountable, but not judge you if you fall. So I think even in life, in this world of like living in social media, we kind of have this picture painted of what everybody wants you to see and how they want you to look at it. And we have this thing of comparing ourselves to other people, but really you just need to be who God created you to be, whatever that looks like. What do you got to say about that?
I agree. I feel like social media, especially Instagram in particular, really has skewed a lot of people's way of thinking as far as it comes to what reality looks like. And then, like you said, you could see someone getting these nice cars and these nice bags and taking these trips every week, but you don't know what they are doing to get those things. And you don't know what it's going to take for them to keep those things either. And I think that that's the scariest part of it all. So never compare yourself. What does the Bible say about comparison? Doesn't it say comparison is the thief of joy or something along those lines?
I don't know if it says that or not, but I'll look it up.
Yeah. Well, the Bible in our head, this got something along those lines. We're going to roll with it.
Right.
But you really shouldn't compare yourself to people because then you'll start thinking like I'm playing a catch-up game or I'm running a race with you. And you really shouldn't be running a race with anybody but the old version of yourself.
Exactly.
So,
your race, your pace. Like what somebody else did to get. You don't know what that person did to get there. And they're only showing you a glimpse of what they want you to see. You don't know what they may be going through. So that's why you should just look at the mirror and set your own, ask God what he wants for you. What did he create you to do? What is it that he wants from you and who he wants you to be? And roll with that and go at it at your own pace because you're trying to keep up with somebody else and you don't know what that person might do. Like, okay, and it's like getting married. I got married young. I don't recommend anybody do that. I got married at 22. I had you at 19 and I was married at 22. I did not know who I was as a woman, as a wife, a mother. I had all these titles and roles and I didn't know who I was, but I had to just kind of roll with it because I was in the thick of it then. But I think I kind of always told you, like, wait. Like, don't have any kids early if you can wait. Okay. Don't rush to get married. Find out who you are as a woman before you start trying to take on these roles and titles and you get lost in trying to figure it out when you don't even know who you are yet,
Yeah, I can't imagine having a child at 22 and having a family and like a husband. I got to come home and cook because I remember how I was at 22 and I would have killed myself. So, yeah, I can't imagine. Hats off to you.
Right. Because I think at 22, like, I had you at 19, 20. So you were like 2, you know what I'm saying? Like by 25, I had a whole person in elementary school. And I'm like, what in the world?
Like, how do you know how to enroll a child for school? Like, who tells you to do that?
Kind of stuff,
Nobody says that.
And you got to get shots and you got to get this and they need stuff. And
I can't imagine. I feel like I was always needing something. I
You
am
were
so
always
sorry. I
needing
am so
something. You
sorry.
always wanted something.
I know.
And like, I don't think financially I was ready to take care of a whole nother person.
But I used to tell my friends that I never knew that we had any financial struggles growing up. Like, I thought we were rich, and
What?
for you to tell me these stories, it's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you really did a good job with
Well,
shielding
thank
me
you,
from that.
baby. And that
Yeah,
wasn't easy. Like, you want your kids to have a better life than what you had, and you don't want them to experience any lack, any heartache. You try to shield them from as much as possible. I don't think kids ever know what their parents are going to do. But you know what? The thing I always say is this: it allowed me to have grace for my parents being a parent.
mm,
When I became a parent, it made me really see, like, darn, mama didn't have it all figured out. And I
yeah,
see why they did X, Y, and Z, because you think your parents know it all. You think they have know how to solve every problem, and they don't. They're just figuring it out. Okay, I was
yeah.
20 some years old with a child, and I didn't even like kids.
You still don't like
I really
kids.
still don't like kids like that. I mean, I don't deal with them and I have them, but I'm not like, hey, bring your kids on over and let's play and party and let's do crafts and stuff. Like, I don't
Yeah,
want
you've
to do
never been
that. I'm
that.
never, not that. That's not my call in life. So I'm glad
Yeah.
God did not call me to be a teacher or some type of daycare provider,
Mm-mm.
because
You couldn't do it.
I would probably be in jail or on the news or
You
something
would
for
be.
yoking a child up or something. But
Yeah.
um, it wasn't an easy thing. And that's why I just recommend people, like, if you can wait, just wait, and when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. And the Bible does say that.
Okay, I caught that. I'm throwing shots today.
Yeah, shots fired. So he does, when the time is right, he'll make it happen. But that's the thing, it's about God's timing. And I think that's in life in general. We don't want to wait on God's timing. We want to
Hmm.
rush something. It's like if you're pregnant and the whole term of a pregnancy is 9 months. And you're like, I want this baby right now. And so
Mm.
you decide, okay, at 5, 6 months, you want to have this baby and you have it. And it's very possible that that baby can survive, but it's probably going to have to be in the NICU and it's going to need this, that. You're going to have to
Yeah.
keep this baby, alive. You're not going to be able to take that baby home. But if you had to just waited the 9 months, then you could have, not to say that stuff still can't happen then,
Right.
but you could have took the baby home and done all of that stuff and
Right.
prepared. But a lot of times we just want stuff before our time. We want to grow up before our
Yeah.
time. And then a lot of times we don't have anybody in our corner that will give us sound advice to say, no, nobody told me I shouldn't be getting married at 22.
Because I feel like I've asked you, like, what were you thinking? What was your thought process? Why didn't anybody say no? And what was your answer? I feel like you said some of your friends were getting
I think a lot
married.
of my friends, like some of my friends were getting married like young, and I was like, well,
But it's
that's,
like they weren't telling the truth, because I'm sure they would have told you, like,
yeah, because now
Tanya, do
talking
you
to them,
want to
they're
think
like,
about
girl, we
this?
should have all waited. But I think because
Yeah.
I had a child and we were already living together, and I was on this path of, trying to do and live right. I didn't want to be shacking up. And my mom was really in the church and stuff. And, they kind of like frowned upon that. Like, you don't need to be shacking up and all of
Yeah.
this stuff. And you don't want somebody to buy the cow before the milk or the milk before the cow or whatever that says. And I just felt like, okay, we had been together since I was 18. So I got married at 20. So we had been together for a while. So it wasn't like I just married a stranger. He was my baby daddy.
Girl.
But I just felt like that was a natural progression of things. But nobody told me that maybe you guys should kind of wait. Because I think he was 25 at the time. I was a little bit 24, 25 when we got married. But nobody said, hey, girl, like,
Don't
are you
do
sure
it.
you want to do that? Everybody was kind of like, go. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody, they've already jumped off the
That's
bridge and
what I
saw
was
that
just thinking.
it
Yeah.
hurt, and then they want you to go on, mess
Yeah.
your life up too. Nobody's saying, well,
The
did
ship
you,
is already sinking.
yeah,
Might
did
as
you pray
well.
about that, or did you? Nobody really gave me, and I don't even know for sure if I even asked anybody for that type of advice. So,
Yeah.
but now on the other side of it, the advice I give other people is, if you can wait, then wait to find out who you are. And I'm not saying that a marriage can't work, because I mean, we've been married for now 20, how long? I don't know, 25 years, 22. I don't know.
Not
We got
25.
married in 2001. So I don't know, do the math. And it's 2024
24,
now.
so
So a long
23.
time. and we've made
Yeah.
it work. And it's been some highs and lows and in betweens and figuring it out and re-evolving and all of that stuff. But I just wonder if we had have waited, how things would have been different, you know? So I
Yeah.
think, wait till you're about 25, 26. If you can wait a little longer to have kids, I mean, do that. That's just my advice. So that's not written in anybody's book, and that's not the end all be all, but that's just
Yeah.
how I feel about it. And I think even with you being in high school and stuff, I was like, don't get a boyfriend. Like,
Yeah, I
just
don't think
find
I
out
ever
who
had a
you are.
boyfriend until like college, really.
Right.
So
Well, how
yeah.
did that work out for you? I mean, did you think did that work for you?
I
Or
think that was the
you
best
regret it?
advice. I would go back and do the same thing over and over again. I feel like I would tell Dory and anybody else to do the same thing. I don't think you need to have a relationship in high school. Like, you got so much life to live once you get outside of that. It doesn't even make sense. Those are the rent-free years. You better enjoy them while you can, because it
Right.
goes quick, real quick.
Yeah, and when you start getting up and paying bills and they come every
Yeah,
30
I tell my mama all the
days.
time, I wish I could live back at home with Jai and Dory and have my meals cooked. And I see why she would be mad when she would come home from work and the house was a mess or the dishes wasn't done. Like, I would want to kill somebody too if I didn't work
Right,
and
like,
I
I
still,
cannot believe y'all just because you're here
So,
with this house
and I feel like that
dirty.
goes back to giving grace. I feel like the older I got, the more grace I started to give you because I started to see. But yeah.
Yeah, and when you have to pay bills on your own, it's like you give grace because you're like, okay, I
Oh
work and I
God.
make this amount, and how much of it is
It's
going to
enough to make
bills?
you want to riot. I feel like we have this conversation every week that I'm
Yeah.
like borderline ready to riot. So it's a
So,
lot.
so give grace, find out who you are. Don't compare yourself to other people, your race, your pace. And another thing I wanted to just kind of touch on, because we're not going to make this a long one today. We're just kind of
Getting to know y'all, you
getting to know
know?
you, let you know us a little bit, get your feet wet a little bit. Come and hang out with us for a while. But just about having faith to know that you're not going to know everything, but God does know everything. And that's an awesome thing when you know you can call on somebody who knows everything about you.
People don't want to call.
They don't want to call. They want to ask God after the fact. They want to ask God about decisions, like even about, should I get married? Should I be with this person? Should I do X, Y, and Z? We don't consult him. We consult him after the fact.
Right. Even little things. Should I go to this grocery store? Should I turn this corner? Like, you have to consult God with every single thing because you never know what could happen.
So faith, I just feel like in this season that we're in this time period, like, it is imperative to have faith, and it's imperative to trust God with your whole heart, because it's like the world is getting so bad. And a lot of times the decisions that we make, we could avoid some of the casualties of war if we just ask God, like, God, should I date this person? Should I go here? Should I go there? Should I do this? But most of the times we just go on how we feel or what somebody else has said or what we think is the best thing to do. And then it ends up a mess. And then you're like, God, help me, or God, what should I do? But you didn't even ask him in the beginning. So I'm thinking that's one of the biggest things I think I've learned in life, and that I've tried to instill in my children, is pray. Ask God what you should do, where you should go. Even the people that you're around, if you get a gut feeling that something ain't right, roll with it. Stop trying to just like, okay, I'm going to go with the flow. Don't go with the flow. Go with what you know. And what you know should be God knows the best thing. So don't go with the flow. Go with the know, honey.
Yeah.
Knowing that God knows the answer to everything, but we don't ask him. And I think I hope I've done a good job with teaching you how to like go to God on your own and to pray and to ask him and you know, to seek guidance before you do not just big decisions, any decision, you know?
I think that really just comes down to having a relationship with God. And people don't have relationships with God. They just kind of look at him like, oh, he's in my back pocket if I really need him. But when you have a relationship with God, it's a little bit different. And I don't think that I started to develop that until I went to college. And it's like, I don't have a choice but to depend on God. So those little quick prayers, I think that's another thing. You always taught us that a prayer doesn't have to be long, like thus saith the Lord. We got to use all these big words and we got to kneel down on our knees and all of this. Like, it could just be a quick prayer, like, Lord,
I
thank you.
Help.
Bless me, keep me safe, send your angels to cover me. Like,
camp around
if we don't know anything else, we know that one. I feel like I say that one 17 times a day.
That's just like John before he goes out the door. He's always, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. If you know one scripture, you can wear the devil's hat out with one scripture. Like, just say something. Like, that's kind of like if you in a relationship with somebody, because having a relationship, that's not about religion, it's relationship. And if you're in a relationship with, let's say, whoever you're in a relationship with, and they don't talk to you all day long, and they only come to you when they need something, like, hey, I need this, I need that.
Right.
You're going to be looking at them like, are you serious? Like, you ain't talked to me in 3 days, and now that you need something, you want to come to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't even send me a text, hey, what you doing?
And I woke you up this morning.
Right. And God wakes us up every morning, and we don't say, thank you, God. Thank you for waking
We just
me up.
jump on Instagram.
Hey, we get our phone. The first thing
we don't even know if our feet work yet, and we just on Instagram. Right. Like, that's crazy.
Scrolling and trying to see what's on everybody else's mind. Why don't you find out what's on God's mind?
Right.
What's the plan for the day, God? What you need me to do?
Be about your Father's business.
So worried about what everybody else is doing, we don't even have relationship with God enough to have conversation with him.
Yeah.
How do you think that makes him feel?
Like, he's probably so disgusted with us sometimes, but he's so merciful and he gives us grace, and he's just like, it's okay, just do better tomorrow. I know we do.
Abuse it. And we don't deserve it. Grace runs out. Like, he's like, okay, well, today is your day, and you like, now you want to talk to me, because you like, don't do him like that.
Yeah,
it makes me mad when people do him like that. Like, just talk to him, and then he'll guide you, even if it's something you don't want to hear. Even if you're like, God, should I do this? And because you really want to do it, and he says no, and
you're like, I'm not gonna ask him no more. I'm not going back to that man. That's crazy,
right? But he knows what's best, because he knows the end from the beginning. So I think in life, if we can get like those little small nuggets of have faith, just be who you are. People may not like you for being who you are, but that's not your business. Like, that's the problem within themselves. If they focused on being who they were, they probably wouldn't be so mad at you for being who you are.
You right about that?
Like, just walking this who you are truly to your core. Be a good person in real life, not just, you got
posting quotes on Instagram.
Yes, and you're really a terrible person. You're mean.
You're real mean.
Yeah,
you're nasty.
You're
and
nasty.
Mean. Yeah.
Right.
That's not good.
Attitude just stinks, and it's not becoming. Like, you don't have to be mean to people. Just leave them alone if you don't feel like, okay, if God shows you who somebody is and you don't like it, don't go around them.
Right.
But you don't have to be mean to people and mistreat people and get over on people. You're not going to get far in life. Like, you might think you're going to get far in life, but you're really not.
You get a first class ticket to hell if you don't straighten up.
Right. Sliding straight in.
Yeah.
So it was good chatting with you today.
Thanks,
this
girl.
is just a little introduction, a little kind of what our phone conversations are like every day. I mean, we can go on any subject at any time for any length of time.
I know. It's ramble after ramble.
Yeah, but
we don't even know what we're talking about half the time. We just hit it hard and go.
And sometimes you just need that. You just need to just have a free space where you can just talk about nothing, if you want to talk about nothing, but it's really something, because it's the importance that one little thing that could be said that could redirect your path. So thank you for hanging out with us today. Thank you for looking at my boots today, because I really like them.
And thank you for purchasing The Sound of Crickets.
Yes, I forgot to say that.
At the healedcreation.com.
Yeah, healedcreation.com. You can go on there and find out a little bit more about me and my journey. I want to inspire a nation. I want to inspire people just to be who they are, and to love God, and to love themselves the way God loves them and the way God sees them. So go get your book, The Sound of Crickets, A Healed Woman Loves Different. And also my children's book, Crickets Can Talk Too, a journey about inappropriate touch, and teaching our kids that people should not be allowed to touch you and tell you to keep secrets that are not meant to be kept. So we love you, and have a wonderful day on purpose.